Dime lo que. Captain Evan here, back at it again with some more One Piece content. And today, boy, do we got some content. You already know. ZORO chapter 1033. If you haven't read it, you better go over there because you are missing out. It was a great chapter this week. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But before you go, make sure you hit that like button so that way you don't got to worry about remembering that part when you come back. Now, without further ado, let's get right into this week's chapter. So, we got a cover story. Oh, well, not a cover story, but, cover... I think it was a cover request where we had Tashigi and Smoker, and they were playing, like, Cops and Robbers or something, or Hero and Villain with penguins. And, so nice how Oda threw in a little Tashigi in there based on what the chapter was. So we follow back up, ZORO versus King again. And ZORO's like, Enma, stop acting out, listen to me. And it's almost like you remember when Ash couldn't control his Charizard? It's like that. ZORO's like, stop acting up. And, he gets the hockey back. And King is coming right for him, but then he just stops in front of him. And ZORO's like, the hell is this? What are you doing? And then he stabs him in the stomach, and King goes, that's the spot, and explodes. So the sadistic side of King is coming out. Like, he's shitting on ZORO. Like, he's just shitting on him, and you remember the Luffy Katakuri fight where Katakuri, everything Luffy did, Katakuri is just like, nope, I can do it better. It's the same thing right now with ZORO and King. No matter what ZORO's doing, King's like, it's whatever, like, I'm stronger, I'm better. And so it's great. Like, we really needed this from ZORO. And then we cut away and we go back to Sanji and Queen. And it like picks up right where the last time we saw when Sanji hit Queen with the Hell's Memories. And Queen's coming back, got hit through a bunch of like rooms, and he's like walking it off, coming right back and laughing, saying, "Oh, you were talking to Pirate Hunter? Man, he ain't gonna beat King. King built different." And he mentions that he's Lunarian, and that apparently they're a race that could withstand any environment that was thrown at them, kind of hinting that almost like like a very durable body, which is kind of interesting because, earlier, a few chapters back, he mentioned to Sanji saying, "What are you, Lunarian?" And it seems like what Judge did for the exoskeleton, what if that actually involves the Lunarians? And Sanji actually has Lunarian DNA, which is why he could always do fire, but now it's fully out there, which is why his body's more durable. I don't know, we gotta see where that goes, because when Sanji asks him, how did a race like that even get eradicated, he's like, well, you're gonna just have to ask history, and he's shooting his laser. Then we go right back to ZORO and King. And Zoro's okay, but he's going, if I didn't use armor at that last second, I'd probably be dead. This is crazy. And then he goes and does his lion song and does his one sword style that he used on Mr. One. And I said it before, this fight reminds me so much of when he fought Mr. One. Because what happened there, that fight was so iconic, because that is where ZORO really elevated himself to the next tier of being a swordsman. And it was from then on was able to cut steel. And right now, it seems that in order for him to beat King, he needs to elevate himself to the next tier of being a swordsman, whatever that may be, which we get a lot of indication of what that is at the end of the chapter. So he does his sheathing lion song, and it looks like it did something for a moment, but then King's perfectly fine and going right back to pulling his head back for a point blank Imperial Udon, and Zoro's getting ready to block, and then Enma acts up again, and because of it, we get similar to what happened with Luffy, where he just got hit in the side, but it was hit on Zoro's other side, and though it wasn't it's hard to say. It wasn't a stab like what happened to Luffy, but it still did a lot of damage. Like, the whole cliffside of Onigashima has just been blown away. And King is like, what a shame. Being taken down by your own swords. That's a first. And Zoro's falling, and he lost all his swords. And so as he's falling, he's picking them up one at a time. First with the Sandai. And he remembers when he got Sandai and his talk with Hitetsu, taking note that that's one of his swords. And then King just comes going, what are you doing saving your swords? You lost it? And freaking hits him with a flaming kick back into Onigashima. And Zoro's burning. And then when he hits the island again, he's in front of Wado Ichimonji's right in front of him. So he goes, picks it up, and now we get a little flashback to when he got Wado. So obviously we know that, okay, so we're getting something for every sword, but he doesn't have anything like this with Enma. So where's this? So where are these flashbacks leading to? And then he grabs Enma, but it immediately starts acting up again. And King just attacks him with a couple attacks, and King is just so powerful. Earlier on in Wano, everyone was taking note, like, King doesn't do much, but now we're getting the King stuff. Now we're seeing how strong he really, really is, and more of his personality, and it is so good. It's literally like what happened with Katakuri. We had like little moments, and I remember at the time, because we got Katakuri really late, and then, you know, we knew that he could see the future, and he looked awesome, but we didn't know how everything was going to play out with him, so we're like, okay, so kind of like Smoothie, where he's just like there, but we don't really get anything. But then we got the Luffy Katakuri fight, and we got so much out of that. That's why people love Katakuri to this day. I mean, they have good reason to. And now we're starting to be on that trend with King. And it's just, Oda does a really, really good job making sure that the right hands are freaking amazing and just awesome, badass. Like, the right hands just do it so well. Like, it's great. And this is what I was hoping for to get from King. And now that we're getting the full fight of King versus Zoro, this is really, really good. So, getting back, now Zoro's somewhere in the castle, just laying on the ground, and he's thinking about everything. You know, he's thinking, you know, I didn't have time to think about it, but why was there a Wano sword in the East Blue? And while he's laying there, he has another flashback to the Tsunashi conversation with Momo, talking about the old geezer, and now we get into a full flashback of Zoro. This is what people wanted, me included, and we finally get it. And it's back 13 years ago in his village, and he notes that he found out that the old geezer was Kuina's grandfather when he passed away. And now, and you know, as we're getting into that flashback, and then we get him on the coast and the geezer talking about Tsunachi, and Zoro going, well, sounds kind of weird, I'm not going to use it. and we see the old geezer, and he is talking to Zoro, and Zoro says, hey, are you a samurai? Everyone in the dojo says you're a samurai. Man, get out of here. Now you're going to bring the Marines to me. And Zoro is thinking, why would they bother with you? But now we know why. And so Zoro goes off to train, and Kuzubaro's watching him. And then he asks if he got bored at the dojo, and Zoro's like, no, I lost Queen, I need to keep training. So then he throws Zoro his first two real swords, the one that Mihawk destroyed. Those were the first two swords. And it's interesting because he says that he could only make these kinds of blades now. So we have that. And then what he does after that is he starts talking to Zoro about blades. And what does he tell Zoro? He tells him that blades are meant for killing. They're meant to cut people down. And the ones that do that job very well have made names for themselves, but weak people call them cursed blades. And the reason that they spread that false rumor is because they can't control them. Because those blades do their job very, very well. Holy crap. So the whole notion of a cursed blade is actually false. There's no such thing as a cursed blade. They just do what they're meant to do so much better, so much stronger. And it makes sense. And it's interesting because Zoro always, he has conversations with his swords and takes note to his swords. And it's just interesting because he says Sandai is a problem child because it wasn't doing what he wanted it to do. But now you can look back at it and think because Zoro wasn't in full control of it yet because he wasn't at that level yet. Close, but not there. And then he tells Zoro that he made his magnum opus when he was young, and that it was a blade that was so good, it just, when you held it, it gave you chills. So he named it after the Lord of the Underworld. And now we go back to present time, and Zoro has his epiphany, and he connected all the dots finally. And that blade that the old geezer made, it was talking about Enma, because he was Shimosuke Kuzaburo. And he talks about how every blade has a personality, and they wait for the right user, essentially. And now you got King coming down, and Zoro's just realizing all of this and realizing that the Lord of the Underworld, Enma, you're that blade. There's no malice from you. You've been testing me this whole time, and I just haven't been living up to your standards. Holy crap. And he says, was Odin able to use you so easily even though you were sucking so much haki? And he is realizing that if he keeps doing this, he's just going to run out of haki and die. But then he realizes, no, this is fine. This is what it wants. And you have a bunch of Beast Pirates fodder coming in, saying, oh, let's get him, we'll get a promotion. And then they pass out. And Zoro goes all out with his haki, and is now using Conqueror's haki consciously. And not only that, but this whole time Enma acting up, you just see all this like smoke and energy because it's just acting up. Now you get the black lightning, and the smoke and black lightning is on all three of Zoro's blades. Not just Enma, all of them. He is using advanced Conqueror's haki. And King goes, huh, so you also have kingly ambitions. And Zoro goes, huh? And he remembers his conversation with Luffy when he first met him. Greatest swordsman? I wouldn't want anything less. The King of the Pirates needs someone that strong. And Zoro goes, yep, that's right. Because I made a promise to my captain and my best friend. Probably talking about Kuina. And he just looks at him, just ready to go. And, dude, do you know how hyped this is? I was beside myself all morning because of that chapter. Like, my nigga, what? Yo! Zoro fans are freaking ecstatic today. Freaking everyone should be ecstatic. Like, this is great. This is what we want from the freaking crew. They're all getting to that point where they are this powerful. And Zoro is now going to that next tier of a swordsman, which you may argue is the final tier. He's using advanced conqueror's haki. He's in that higher echelon. Remember, how many people alive can do this that we know of? Luffy, Kaido, Big Mom, and Yamato. Now Zoro too. And it was only Oden, Roger, and Whitebeard that also could do this. Zoro is in that tier. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. And we will be talking again next week pretty soon. And without further ado, Captain Zevin is out of here.